അനിലാണോ?
അല്ല, ഇവിടെ ഇപ്പൊ വന്നു. ഷെർലി മേഡം ഇപ്പൊ ലൈവായിട്ട് ഉണ്ട്.
മാസ്ക് ഒന്നും ഇല്ല കേട്ടോ.
Hello, good morning all.
Good morning.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah, കേൾക്കാം രഞ്ജിഷേ.
We are about to begin our program. Okay. Good morning all.
Morning.
I am Rajesh D, Assistant Professor, College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Government TD Medical College, Alappuzha. On behalf of staff and students of College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, TDM, Alappuzha. On behalf of staff and students of College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, TDMC, Alappuzha, I welcome you all to Pharma Insight 2020. We are about to begin our webinar. May I request all the participants to please keep the microphone of your mobile phone, laptops muted. Thank you. The whole world is reeling under the pandemic, and undoubtedly, COVID-19 pandemic is one of the biggest calamities the whole humanity has ever faced in modern times. At the same time, on the other hand, this crisis is a realization that taught us many important lessons in life. One among them is the realization that change is inevitable and change is possible. Online learning or distance learning has become the new norm. And because of the advancement in technology, we could now hear the views and experiences of many eminent personalities from around the world during this time of pandemic, which was otherwise impossible. This webinar is being hosted on Zoom platform. And for those who are not able to join Zoom, can listen to this webinar live on YouTube channel of our college, COPS TDMC. This webinar is being organized as a part of the National Pharmacy Week celebrations. And the topic is thinking beyond traditional boundaries in the pharmacy profession. We are fortunate to have with us today Dr. Shirly John, an accomplished academician and a highly experienced officer who was working in the enforcement and pharmaceutical regulatory development of the Ministry of Health. Let us begin this inaugural session by invoking the blessings of Almighty. May I invite Ms. Miduna, 5th semester student, for prayers. Miduna.
Yes, sir.
Miduna, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can come, sir.
Miduna?
Some problem with the audio, Ranjish.
Hello, sir.
Okay. Yes,
Sir,
go on. Miduna.
തുടങ്ങിക്കോട്ടെ. പൂവിലും പുല്ലിലും മഞ്ഞിലും മഴയിലും ശിലയിലും ചന്ദ്രതാരത്തിലും പുണ്യമായി തുടിക്കും ചൈതന്യമേ, ദിവ്യ ചൈതന്യമേ, തെളിയുക ദീപമായി ഉലകിൻ ഇരുളിൻ നടുവിൽ, ഈ ഉലകിൻ ഇരുളിൻ നടുവിൽ.
Thank you, Miduna. Next, may I invite Dr. Kala D, Professor and Head, College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, TDMC, Alappuzha, to welcome the participants. Madam, please.
A very good morning to all of you and warm welcome to this webinar. Every year, we are celebrating the National Pharmacy Week to recognize the vital contribution that pharmacists make every day to patient care, and also to create awareness among the public, other healthcare professionals, and also the authorities. Today, we are celebrating the 59th National Pharmacy Week, and theme of this week is Pharmacists, Frontline Health Professionals. COVID-19 global impact that has demonstrated the essential role of pharmacies and pharmacists in the community. Pharmacists also play a vital role to reduce this COVID impact. Lockdown are being observed all over the globe, and pharmacy professionals, they perform their duty overall for the 24-hour in front line. Community pharmacists, they reduce this burden to a great extent by diverting the influx of patient away from hospital through this triaging and screening, while hospital and clinical pharmacists, they collaborate with multidisciplinary team and to reduce mortality and to facilitate the control of COVID spread in hospitals. In our college, our staff members, both teaching and non-teaching, they are happily participated in this large, our mission of our nation. Today, it's my proud privilege to welcome our beloved principal, Dr. M.T. Vijayalakshmi. Madam is very supportive and acts as a source of pillar in all our endeavors. On behalf of the College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, I am very happily welcoming you, Madam, to this webinar. Dr. Shirly John, a noteworthy figure in the field of pharmacy, and we are certainly grateful to you, Madam, for accepting our invitation. I'm sure this talk will enlighten us and think in another perspective. Madam, I extend a warm welcome to you. Now I'll welcome our students, all the faculty members, other pharmacy professionals, and all our well-wishers. And thank you for joining with us. Have a great day. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, madam. Now, may I invite Honorable Principal of Government TD Medical College, Alappuzha, Dr. Vijayalakshmi, madam, to inaugurate this webinar and then for the inaugural address. ഒന്നും കൂടി സൈൻ ഇൻ ചെയ്യണം.
എന്തോ കേക്കട്ടെ. കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ? ഹലോ, കേൾക്കാൻ? ആ,
A very fine and pleasant good morning to one and all, especially to our distinguished guest, Dr. Shirly John, the former consultant pharmacologist, the Directorate General of Pharmaceutical Affairs and Drug Control, Ministry of Health, in the Sultanate of Oman. As a part of the National Pharmacy Week, the Pharma Insight 2020, our sister concern, that is the College of Pharmaceutical Sciences in the PTDMC Alapura, when Kala came and invited me for the official inaugural session of this webinar, I thought this is a special topic. I asked her the topic, thinking beyond the traditional boundaries in the pharmacy profession. I was not aware about that. Then she explained to me, Kala explained to me, this is the contemporary pharmacy that has extended beyond and boundaries. And I was happy to hear that, because when I was a student of the pharmacology 40 years back, 1980 in Calicut Medical College, my teachers, that is Kalyani Madam, with respect I tell, Kalyani Madam and Kadambiri Madam were my teachers. When we do the practicals in the pharmacology, they used to say to us, that is to the students of, especially they will roam around in the practical classes, and Madam used to say, this is not a mere preparation, my dear students. This is not the mixing of the mere molecules to prepare the carminative mixture or liquid codeine. You have to mix something else with it, because you are the healthcare professionals. We were not aware of about that healthcare system at that time, because we were just the students of the second MBBS. And what she specifically write on the board is, you mix your human values, your medical ethical values with it. You should be true for the truth, the human values. You should have a dignity, because healthcare system or the profession of healthcare system is highly dignified, especially at that time. Then mix it with the great thing, the compassionate, that feeling, that emotion should be there, because these medicines does not go just into a human being, because the healthy persons won't approach a medical store for a medicine. It's the patient. When they contract with some difference from their normal health, their approaches. So it should be under our, or it should be with our medical ethics. That is not only the compassion, the ethics to the medical profession. Justice, we should do the justice to the medical profession. Initially, there was a medical triad. Hope you remember that. That is what I have studied. There was a medical triad regarding this healing process, because the pharmacists are the actual healing workers, because the medicines are prepared by them, and simply preparing and dispensing won't make a patient cured, isn't it? The delivering persons, that is the staff nurse and other healthcare professionals, intervene between the physician and the patient. And the physician is just seeing the patient, examining the patient, writing the prescription alone. Whereas the pharmacist is the one who prepares for the patient and dispensing. So the three P's that is the foremost is the patient, then the pharmacist and the physician. And the chain expanded, lengthened with so many healthcare workers intervened in between for the for the proper usage of the medicines. That is what I think that was during my earlier studies. But now I think the principles of the medical ethics or the fundamentals of a medical care system has expanded uh, to a high position, isn't it? The, the, the pharmacogenomic as well as the technical innovations actually revolutionized the modern pharmaceutical sciences. And along with this, though the revolution has occurred, basically it is the pharmacist who, who actually expands their hands between the other healthcare system because they cannot limit to a single specific domain. Because they do not, they not only prepare the solution, they prepare the medicine actually in the right preparation, right in all aspects, but it has to be delivered in correct amount, everything that is written by or it is delivered by the pharmacist alone. So I think this profession, that is the pharmacy profession, is of great importance for actually reaching or delivering the medicines to the patient who is in need of the healthcare. So this integration between the pharmacist, the patient, the staff nurse, and the physician is a great thing. So I think your profession or the pharmacy profession is having a higher, actually is having a higher authority, is forming a higher authority to deal with the medicine. And I think your profession or your link between the patient and the doctor is awesome. And the responsibility lies on the pharmacist for actual delivering of the medicines. And you know the importance of the medicines too. And I think Madam Shirley Madam will be
Madam. Thank you. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
No, Renjisha, some audio problem is existing.
Thank you, madam. Thank you,
Yeah, now
Dr.
it's okay.
Vijayalakshmi, madam. Next, moving on, may I request Professor Rajashree RS to speak about National Pharmacy Week celebrations.
Thank you, Ranjesh. Respected Principal Dr. Vijayalakshmi Madam, HOD Kala Madam, Shirley Madam, colleagues, and my dear students, a very warm good morning to all. National Pharmacy Week is organized by Indian Pharmaceutical Association during the third week of November with a theme to promote the profession during the entire year. The main objective of this activity is to sensitize patients, healthcare professionals, states and central government, students and citizens of India to become aware of the profession of pharmacy
Yes,
and the
madam.
role played by registered pharmacists as a member of
Can you hear me?
healthcare team. The theme chosen for National Pharmacy Week 2020 is Pharmacist Frontline Health Professionals. This is with an aim to acknowledge and thank all pharmacists who are working tirelessly during the great uncertainty and challenges. I am positive that the society has definitely recognized the services provided by the pharmacist and importance of pharmacy services during the pandemic situation. The pharmaceutical industry, together with academia and government, can make a real significant difference in days to come. This is the essence of the message given by National President of Indian Pharmaceutical Association, Dr. T.V. Narayana. First National Pharmacy Week celebration was organized in the year 1962, and now this year we are celebrating the 59th in the year 2020. In connection with National Pharmacy Week celebration, College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Government TD Medical College Alappuzha is conducting a webinar, and the resource person is Dr. Shirly John, a great academician and pharmacy professional. Her topic is thinking beyond the traditional boundaries in pharmacy profession. We, the faculty, staff, and students are very keen to attend your session, madam. I extend all the best for the successful completion of the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. With this, we have come to an end of the inaugural session. May I call upon Ritika Rajesh, third semester student, to propose a vote of thanks. Ritika, over to you.
Am I audible?
Yes, continue, Ritika.
A very warm good morning to one and all. Honorable dignitaries, distinguished guests, respected principal ma'am, teachers, and dear participants. I feel immense pleasure to take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks. First of all, I extend a hearty thanks to our respected principal ma'am, Dr. Vijayalakshmi, who spent time from her busy schedule to grace this webinar, and also for encouraging and providing us more opportunities to host events. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your precious presence. Words are insufficient to express gratitude to our distinguished guest, Dr. Shirly John, former consultant pharmacologist, Directorate General of Pharmaceutical Affairs and Drug Control, Ministry of Health, Oman. Thank you so much, ma'am, for gracing this occasion with your valuable deliberation. We are looking forward to your presentation and eager to get more insight through the interactive session. Thank you once again, ma'am. I would especially thank Dr. Kala ma'am, our HOD, for her incessant support and for organizing such an event during this Pharmacy Week celebration. I would also like to thank our dearest Rajashri ma'am for sharing her inspirational thoughts about National Pharmacy Week celebration. My sincere gratitude also goes to Ranjit sir and Habib sir for organizing and coordinating this event. Words of gratitude goes to all other teaching and non-teaching staff for their valuable contribution towards organizing this webinar. Next, last but not the least, we would like to extend our thanks to all participants of this webinar. Wishing you all a great brainstorming session and requesting your cooperation for making it a successful event. Thank you.
So, thank you all. Next, we'll begin our scientific session soon. Rashmi Krishna, Assistant Professor, will chair. Over to you, Rashmi. Thank you.
A very good morning, one and all. I welcome all of the participants to this webinar, and very nice to see a cheerful face of Shirley ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. So I'm Reshmi Krishna. I feel immense joy and pride as a woman to introduce the distinguished speaker for today, Dr. Shirly John, former consultant, pharmacologist, Directorate General of Pharmaceutical Affairs, MOH, Oman. Now, I would like to brief her achievement in short. Please listen to it. It's worth listening. Actually, it's an inspiration for all of us. An alumna of College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, KMC Manipal, she served her entire career in pharmacy profession and it's ever expanding. Madam offered her services and expertise at institutions like Department of Pharmacology, KMC Manipal, John Enoch College of Pharmacy, Trivandrum, before proceeding to do her research in pharmacoepidemiology at CMC Vellore. After PhD, she pursued a career in teaching at College of Pharmacy, MG University, and committed herself to mentor budding scholars. Her career escalated and adorned an international outlook when ma'am joined as consultant pharmacologist, Directorate General of Pharmaceutical Affairs and Drug Control, MOH, Oman. Now we know that this is a regulatory authority in Oman, just like a CDSCO in India. She extended her services for a long 16 years and returned back to Kerala recently. During her career, she has taken keen interest in continuing pharmacy education and has got several opportunities to take part in national and international conferences and workshops related to pharmacy profession. We know that our topic for today is thinking beyond traditional boundaries in pharmacy profession. We know that this topic is a real game changer and the need of the hour. So without wasting time, let's hear it from the expert and make it more effective through deliberation and interaction. So I request all of the participants to interact with ma'am more efficiently and effectively. So here we welcome, ladies and gentlemen, a pharmacoepidemiologist, a pharmacologist, an expert in pharmacovigilance and regulatory affairs. We have the right person with us to grace this National Pharmacy Week celebration 2020. Please welcome, put your hands together for Dr. Shirly John for the presentation and address. Welcome, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Can I share screen?
Yeah, ma'am. I think Renji sir will help you to share the screen. Ma'am, you can press the options, share screen now.
Yeah. It's still disabled.
Renji sir, could you please help ma'am to share the screen?
Yeah. Yeah, good morning, all of you. Thank you very much, Rashmi, for your nice words of introduction. Also, I thank Dr. Vijay Lakshmi for inaugurating this session. Also, thank all the participants and also those who arranged this program, Dr. Kala, for organizing this and inviting me. I feel very privileged to be part of this program and present to you and share with you my little experience, whatever I have in the field of pharmacy. I was just thinking, when a student of pharmacy joined the pharmacy course, he or she will be just barely. Can you hear me properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, when a student of pharmacy joins the pharmacy course, he or she will be barely 17 or 18. Maybe 10% of them would have focused that they wanted to join pharmacy course. Maybe the rest of the people, they wouldn't know what is pharmacy, or pharmacy would have been their second or third choice. But they joined for this. But then I want to tell all the budding pharmacists, your choice was the right one, and we can still in our profession if we are focused and if we work towards a goal. So nowadays we have many resources available, and make use of those resources to excel in the profession and then do what your mind says that this is good or this is bad. When Dr. Kala called me and to give this presentation, I asked her what is the event and what are they trying to focus on. Then she said it's the National Pharmacy Week celebrated, and then this is in association with the National Pharmacy Week. And the theme of this National Pharmacy Week, she said, it is frontline pharmacists who are the frontline health professionals. For somebody to work in the front line, there should be somebody who is working very hard from behind. There is no doubt that pharmacists are frontline health professionals, and they are very important chain in the multidisciplinary team. They have to work along with all the other healthcare professionals in the multidisciplinary team for coming to the front line, working in the healthcare team. But somebody has to work behind them for them to work in the front line. So my short message today will be focusing on how we can work from behind for them to be active in the front line. As somebody pointed out, we are just 2 weeks ago, we came back to Kerala after serving in the Ministry of Health for the past 16 years. And we had to quarantine for 14 days. And that quarantine time was a time for us to clear and clean our house. And I was going through my old files, and I saw this piece of paper in one of my old files. As you can see, the paper has lost its color. And, you know, it is showing, I don't know why I got the paper, but the paper was in my old file. So you can see that this paper was there in my file, and then it is giving the opportunities a pharmacist can embark on after B.Pharm, or even after M.Pharm, or even after PhD. The higher studies offered after B.Pharm are M.Pharm, M.Tech, MBA, Bioinformatics, Technology, and in international universities. These are all listed a decade or two ago, and that doesn't mean that people who graduated during that time, they did only this field. I'm sure they must have gone to various other fields also, depending on the opportunities they got. Just to show you what the opportunities were available a decade or two ago. Just try to Google what are the opportunities pharmacists have during 8 years now. I came across this paper by the PCI in 2009, and I saw regulatory was added in 2009, whereas we didn't see that regulatory aspect of it in the previous old paper. You can see regulatory in the industry, and you can see regulatory in the other settings. So, as the opportunities also changes. This is just to show you how time can change the opportunities offered in different timings. Then also I saw this in Times of India, a paper which, when people are showing the opportunities for pharmacy program. In Times of India, career scope and opportunities, I came across this. And in this, they have added also pharmacovigilance. But until then, we didn't see the terminology pharmacovigilance in those career scope and opportunities. They have given pharmacovigilance also along with medical marketing. Then they have also mentioned that graduate can become drugs inspector. They can become, as and when they get seniority and go up in the hierarchy, they can become drugs controller. And also they can, in the earlier stage itself, they can become hospital pharmacist. So these are the type of career scope and opportunities which Times of India in 2020 offered for the public. This is for the public to read and understand what are the for graduates of B.Pharm. Now here, I will be talking about the regulatory affairs, which was the area which I was working for the past 16 years. Why I thought of sharing this is because when I reached Oman, or before I reached Oman also, I was not very clear what I was going to do. But then I just knew that I was selected for this post and I just went. But after reaching there, I understood that these are the opportunities and these are the options, or these are the avenues which regulatory affairs can offer. And I should be sharing this with my fellow pharmacists here and also my budding students who are going to be the pharmacists of tomorrow. This regulatory affairs option is available both in the private and also in the government. As Rashmi said, that the CDSSO, which is the regulatory authority in India, is looking after the regulatory affairs in the government sector in India. The private sector is shared by all the manufacturers who are available in India, and India has a wealth of so many manufacturing units which are by the private sector. Now, both the private sector and the government sector will be looking at three aspects mainly, which I am going to talk about. The areas are bioequivalence, registration, and pharmacovigilance. There is only one difference between the private sector and the government sector. What they are going to do about bioequivalence, registration, or pharmacovigilance. When it is the government, they will be evaluating all the documents which are uploaded by the private sector. And what the private sector is doing is giving the government all the documents which are prepared by them for bioequivalence, for registration, and pharmacovigilance. So the role of the government is evaluation of all these documents, whereas the role of the private sector is to make all these documents which are required or requested by government agencies. So I'll be going to these areas one by one. But why I took this bioequivalence as the first step towards the role of the private sector. Speaking about private sector more, because the government will be just evaluating the documents which are submitted by the private sector. So let's look at what is the definition of bioequivalence. The students are using about the bioequivalence definition in your pharmaceutics class or your biopharmaceutics class. The absence of a significant difference in the rate and extent of the active ingredient or active moiety in pharmaceutical equivalents or pharmaceutical alternatives become available at the site of drug action when administered at the same molar dose under similar conditions in an appropriately designed study. So you see here the rate and extent to which the active ingredient comes to the site of action. So there are different modes of drug administration, and those routes of drug administration we learn in pharmacology, and many different routes of drug administration are there. Whatever route of drug administration you administer the drug, everything has to come to the site of drug action. In bioequivalence, they don't have bioequivalence for systemic route of drug administration, but even for orally administered liquids also. But more of the other route of administrations, they have to go through this bioequivalence study, and they have to confirm that it is coming in the same molar dose in similar conditions when appropriately done by designed. Now, why this bioequivalence study necessary? For people who are not familiar with these terminologies, I just want to introduce these terminologies, which is brands and generics. What are brands and what are generics? We are all familiar with the term generic name, but brands and generics, I don't know, maybe the students are not familiar, maybe some students are already familiar. Let me just tell you what are brands and what are generics. Here you can see this drug, ribociclib, which is brought by Novartis company, which is by the brand name Kisqali. This is a drug which is used for breast cancer, for advanced breast cancer. Nowadays, this breast cancer is a very common one of the type of cancers which are there in, I feel, globally, which is very common in women. And this is the brand drug which is brought by Novartis, which is very effective in the treatment of breast cancer by the name ribociclib. But it is not possible for all to have this ribociclib because it is very expensive. We have to make it more affordable and more accessible for all the patients to have this drug. When I was trying to find out the price of ribociclib in India, I saw that this ribociclib in India for a month, it is about around approximately 2.1 lakhs of rupees, which makes it less affordable for the common people. So this company brought, this Indian company brought this ribociclib by the name Trixana, which made it available for the patients in around approximately 22,000 rupees monthly. Even 22,000 rupees also must be very difficult for some people to pay, and they may not be able to take it. But thank God, the company was able to bring Crixana for rupees 22,000. You can see the wide difference between Kisqali and Crixana, which is from 2.1 lakhs to 19,000 rupees, which is required. Now, not only people in India need this Crixana, which is available for 21,000 rupees. Maybe people living outside India, maybe the Indians living abroad, or even there are some countries outside India which need this drugs which are at a cheaper rate. Maybe when they are when the companies are exporting it outside India, they may not be available there for 21,000 rupees, because the company which is exporting has to go through a lot of procedures for them to register this drug outside. So I'll be talking a few steps towards registration of these drugs. So this is about brands and generics. Now, this company, which is the innovator company which made Kisqali, has to go through many steps for them to bring this Kisqali to the market. They have to go through, you must be knowing about the clinical trial phases, which is beginning from phase 1, phase 2. Now we hear a lot about clinical trials, because we are hearing about the vaccines for COVID-19, which is come to the market. We were initially we heard that the vaccine was coming during our Independence Day in 2019. They were not able to bring it. Then we heard it's going to come by November. We didn't hear it. Then they said by the end of the year. Now it's coming by the beginning of January of 2021. So the companies has to go through a lot of steps for a drug to come to the market. So this is the innovator company which is going through preclinical test, animal test, and many different tests. So they spend a lot of money to bring the drug to the market, whereas the generics has already, they already know the safety of this drug, and the generic company does not have to go through the animal test or the preclinical phases. So, you know, they don't have to spend so much money, so that they can bring the drug at a very lesser price compared to the innovator company. So but the generic company has to prove that this drug is of same quality, same safety, and same strength. Why there is, but each company has to prove themselves that their brand is good, because there is generic competition. It is essential to have brand name generic drugs available. As I already told you, that the generic drugs are cheaper, and it is having the same safety, and it is affordable to patients, but they have to prove that they are equally effective as the innovator brand. Why there should be generic drugs? Because the insurance, for us to take an insurance premium, we'll be asking the insurance agents, how much do I have to pay? If I have to pay a high insurance amount, I will not take the insurance, because I may think, okay, I can pay a lesser price when I go to the hospital each time. So the insurance premiums has to be kept minimum. For them to keep the insurance premium minimum, the drug has to be affordable and less price for them. And when you see when we went to US, we saw that many people are taking Indian drugs, and the insurance companies are offering many of the Indian products in the USA and other countries also. When I was in Oman also, I've seen many drugs which are exported from India available in Oman. But for them to have these drugs, the companies to have this drug available in other countries, they have to go through a lot of steps and procedures for it to be available in other countries. There are some myths about these generic drugs, because I know that the Middle East countries, initially they were offering all the innovative drugs. You saw the Kisqali and price of Crixana. You know, they were they were having only the innovative drugs. They were having innovative drugs available in the government sector. So there are some myths always about this is not only about drugs, even about when scientists talk about children, they may say that my son or my daughter she's a brand girl, a brand boy. You know, children are always interested in brands. Even likewise, even for in healthcare also, they say, I don't want to compromise on generics. Let me take innovator. So, you know, so people feel that generics may not be safe and they may not be potent as the brands, or they may take very long for the drugs to act, or they may be made in substandard manufacturing units. So these myths are there, but to take away the myths, they do the bioequivalence study to prove that it is as good as the branded drug. So this is the principle of the bioequivalence study. This is the bioequivalence studies I used to assess the expected in vivo, that is inside the body, bioequivalence of two proprietary preparations of a comparative bioavailability studies in which the active drug substance is measured in accessible biological fluids such as plasma. Most of the time, it is the plasma which is measured, but there are times when sometimes saliva is measured, sometimes sweat is measured, but most of the time it is the plasma which is measured for the bioequivalence studies. Now, we heard the two proprietary preparations. Now there is a sample and a reference. The reference is always the innovator drug. That is, if you are going to compare Crixana and Kisqali, the reference is Kisqali, and the sample or the study drug is Crixana. So that is two proprietary preparations, the reference and the study drug. There are two aspects in a complete bioequivalence study. The two aspects are, one is the in vivo part, that is the which is done in a bioequivalence center. The centers which are doing the bioequivalence study, they are called bioequivalence centers or contract research organizations, which are abbreviated as CROs. And these bioequivalence studies are using principles of bioanalytical concepts, and statistical concepts. So you can see that three concepts are used: bioanalytical concepts, pharmacodynamic concepts, and statistical concepts. So in bioanalytical concepts, all those who do higher studies in analytical chemistry or who are doing pharmaceutics or who take pharmaceutics or pharmaceutics as their higher studies subject, they can go these aspects of bioequivalence. And it's also statistics which is required, maybe because there are softwares available in statistics nowadays. Even we can use with a little bit of practice, we can also use this statistical softwares, or maybe they will take the service of biostatistics professionals. But even we as pharmacists also can use with experience. Also, the second part of bioequivalence study is the in vitro dissolution test. In pharmaceutical companies itself, in the pharmaceutical company, they do a primary in vitro dissolution study to confirm that sample is equivalent to the innovator sample which is available. There are two aspects in a complete bioequivalence study. First aspect is the in vivo study, and the second aspect is the in vivo test with pharmaceutical company. They do many in vitro studies with all strengths which are available. Now for this Kisqali, it is 600 milligram dose. They are taking 600 milligram dose, but it is not made in 600 milligram. It is made in 200 milligram tablets, and the patient is taking 3 tablets in the morning. So they, usually when there are different strengths, they are doing in vitro dissolution study in all the 3 strengths which are available. And this part of the in vitro study is done in the pharmaceutical company, and they confirm that their product is good. They complete it, and then they send it to the bioequivalence center for the bioequivalence study. Why they have to confirm? Because even this bioequivalence study is also very expensive, because they're using volunteers for study, and they have to pay the volunteers, and this is done in a very standardized, specialized area. And if they fail in the study, they pay a lot to the bioequivalence center. So they have to be very careful about these studies. So this is in short about bioequivalence study, because bioequivalence study itself is a big topic which we can talk for hours. So this is just to give you in short what the manufacturing companies are doing before a drug comes to the, not before comes to the market. Yeah, even I don't know whether they have to submit these documents to the Indian CDSSO before this drug is coming to the market, because I'm not familiar with what's happening in India now. But for them to export it outside, they have to, for sure, they have to do this bioequivalence study before they are exporting it outside India. This is just to give you the list of for my budding pharmacists who are going to look for job opportunities. You can search for contract research organizations in India and see whether these contract organizations are approved in some may be approved in the European market, some may be approved in the American market, and some may be approved by the Middle East regulatory authorities. So these are some of the contract research organizations or bioequivalence centers which are available in India. Talk about drug registration. So after having completed the bioequivalence study, they have to compile many different documents for them to register this drug outside any regulatory agency, say it's in FDA or in the EMA or any other regulatory agency. For this drug registration, it is one of the legal requirements for marketing of a drug in a country. And guidelines made by each regulatory agencies. If you search in each regulatory agency website, you can see drug registration guidelines. Why these guidelines are available? Because it is, as I told you, many documents are there for them to register this drug in the country. They have to make all these documents, and all these documents have to be compatible. So, compatible for submission, and there are guidelines how it should be presented, in what format it should be presented. So there are guidelines in all the websites how they have to do this documents. Why these guidelines are made, as I told you, it has to be compiled together, and after they submit it is, first of all, it is very difficult to submit. And once they submit it, and they want their drug to be registered fast so that it is available in the country where it is registered. Now, usually, as I have learned, it takes at least 1 or 2, not 1 year, at least 2 years for them to register a drug. So, if it is not submitted properly, it can delay their registration. Then they will give back queries to them. So it has to be proper how it has to be submitted. So it is submitted in the form of, when you submit this, as I told you, these documents, it is called a dossier. The whole document is called a dossier. You call it a dossier submission. This word dossier is taken from it itself. It is a collection or file of documents on the same subject, especially a file containing detailed information about a person or a topic. So the whole documents is called the dossier. Now, it is submitted in the form of, it is called CD, Electronic Common Technical Document. Now, when the Indian marketing authorization holders or the manufacturing companies, for your information, there are two terminologies, manufacturer and marketing authorization holders. The manufacturers are marketing the drugs. Manufacturers are manufacturing the drugs. The same company can market the drugs, or they may approach another company to market their drugs. So whoever is marketing, they are called marketing authorization holders. And those who are manufacturing are called manufacturers. So they make this submission in the form of common technical document. Why it is called common technical document? Because they are in the form of this technical document which is common for most of the countries, and they are submitted electronically, and that's why it is called ECTD or common technical document. This is standard format for all regulatory information, such as applications, supplements, and reports. What are supplements? Is any change which is happening in a dossier, it has to be submitted as supplements to the concerned health authority. This is harmonized to implement harmonized documents, and this document is same for most of the countries. When India is making a document for Middle East or the FTA, Most of the document will be in the similar, with slight differences between health authorities. So they make it in a common fashion and with slight differences in between. This, in a common format, it simplifies the submission procedures because it is in a standardized format. Usually it is in a module format and there are totally 5 modules in the ECT. First is region specific information, that is region specific is not is about the country which they are submitting. So maybe the health authority in America will require some information, that is the cover letter or whatever information they need, that is the region specific information. Then the summary documents, that is in PDF format. All documents, whatever you are submitting, there should be an executive summary. Then see what is submitted in the dossier. So the module 2 will be the summary documents. Then the module 3 will be information related to quality, all the quality documents of all their submission. Then non-clinical reports. These non-clinical study reports will not be available for the generic drugs because they are not being non-clinical, but they have this module also. But I tell you about how ECTD structure, because when they are submitting the ECTD, all modules should be available, otherwise it will not be received at the end of the health authority. So what they will do is they will say that this is not required for a generic session. Then finally the clinical study reports. What I was talking to you about the bioequivalent clinical study, this part of bioequivalent study will come in the clinical study reports. For an innovator, even the clinical trial results also will come in the clinical study reports. So this is about the modules of ECTD, and this is how this show you pictorial representation of the ECTD. As I told you, this regional administrative information is not part of the CTD structure, because this is different for the module 1 is different for different health authorities, whereas module 2 and module 3, 4 and 5 is similar for most of the health authorities. Now, after having registered second part, we have covered the second part, that is the registration part. The drug is available in the market after registration. Now is the post-marketing surveillance has to come into place, which is done by the pharmacovigilance bodies. Now, what is pharmacovigilance as a science? The World Health Organization defines pharmacovigilance as the science and activities relating to the detection, assessment, understanding, and prevention of adverse effects or any other possible drug-related problems. So it is not only science, there is some amount of activities also in the science. Because if it is just a science and if it stays there, it's complete. So we have to have some activities also. So it's detection, assessment, understanding. So to prevent adverse effects or any other drug-related problems. So it is before people using it's only adverse, but it is all drug-related problems. It can be medication errors, it can be quality problems, or it can be anything with the use of the drugs. Because just to give an idea of what are the things which are dealt with in the pharmacovigilance department where I was working. When this insulin pens were brought in by the generic companies in the market, maybe these pens will not work properly, and because it is not able to administer the same amount of insulin the patient was taking before came to pen. So all these have to be reported by the patients or the caregivers, so that if that is reported to the pharmacovigilance department, the regulatory body, they will take it up and then they will tell their the suppliers that there is a problem, and the marketing authorization holders will take it seriously and try to modify their product. That this is all to ensure that good quality products are available and safety is ensured for the patients. So pharmacovigilance is essential during post-marketing phase, even for medicinal products which have been in the market for several years. Why we are talking about which have been in the market for several years? Recently, we heard about this problems with, initially we heard it with SARS, which is used for hypertension. Then we heard of ranitidine. Then we heard about, recently we heard about metformin. There were paper reports that all these products, it brought so much human people, because they heard this NDA was present in metformin, because they forgot to, some people who are reporting, they forgot to mention that it is in some company products which is having this NDMA. And because many people are taking metformin, they get scared why this, this impurity is available in the product and it is going to cause cancer. But it is some company products that it was available, and the US was the country which reported it first. That's why this pharmacovigilance has to be there for all products which are available in the market, even for several years. People were worried that, this NDMA, which was available in the tablets they were taking. And not only the active ingredient which can produce this adverse effects, even the excipients, the non-active ingredients also can invoke a reaction, because different companies will be using ingredients. Maybe people are people were taking placebos during the clinical trial phase, so those reactions were not shown. So it can happen anytime, and at the clinical trial phase, only few patients were using the drugs. So when it is brought to the market, only these adverse reactions can be exhibited. Also, drugs from different companies can bring about problems. As I told you, it's not only adverse reaction, it can be some errors, or errors can happen from similar looking. Now we know about, look-alike, sound-alike problems also. Generic companies, they bring about sometimes some look-alike names or sound-alike names. So even that can be brought to the regulatory agencies. And problems with old products, that is about, we know about many, some old products which are away from, for example, this ranitidine is completely taken out from the Gulf markets because of the NDMA problem. So to show you some of the regulatory agency websites, This website is by the European Union. This is called, before it used to be called EMA. It is called EMA, which is abbreviated as EMA by the European Union. Their pharmacovigilance is called UDRA vigilance, and different pharmacovigilance documents. So this is just to give you an for the websites. This is the EMA website, which is dealing about. I urge all the students to visit these websites to get idea about the pharmacovigilance issues. Yes, this is the pharmacovigilance documents. Some of the pharmacovigilance documents which are to be submitted by the pharmaceutical companies. One is called DSUR, which is the Development Safety Update Report. This Development Safety Update Report is in the clinical trial phase by the safety information of the product at the development phase. Then there is a document which is called Periodic Safety Update Report, which is called the PSUR. PSUR is after a drug comes to the market. Here you can see highlighted this defined time points and post-authorization. Post-authorization is after it is authorized in the once coming in the market, there are definite time points. This PSU was submitted initially every 6 months for 1 year, then every 2 years for the 2 years, and then every 3 years, depending on the health authority. Usually, most of the countries, they follow the European Union rules, and there are guidance documents for pharmacovigilance. So these safety update reports also has to be made by the marketing authorization holders, which are submitted to the health authorities at definite time points. And, after this PSURs were submitted, then some of the health authorities, there should be some efficacy documents should be available. So it made a change from the PSUR to periodic benefit risk evaluation report, which is abbreviated as PBRER, which is the analysis of the safety, efficacy, and efficiency of a drug once it is available in the market. In simple terms, it is means submitting the same information to the regulatory authority periodically. This simply means interval safety report. RER, it is cumulative benefit risk report. We are talking more in the benefit risk report. When somebody will ask me, are there side effects? I will say there are side effects for a drug to have. There should be side effect also. Not there should be, there will be side effect also. But this is when they are prescribing, they look at the benefit and risk. If the benefit will be more than the risk, I am sure the patient will be given the drug. Not because there is risk, they will not be giving the drug. So they should be getting the drug though there is amount of risk, because the benefit is way more than risk. So, as I told you, we are looking at the efficacy also, and they are giving information on clinical trial also. Now, documents are made by the pharmacovigilance, there is something called risk management plans. These are all very big documents. All these documents contain more than some 3,000 pages and all, because there should be summary, there should be all steps, and these are all given by the health authorities. What are risk management plans? Now we all know that these drugs which I use for, I always give this example because people are all familiar with therapy of tuberculosis. All the tuberculosis medicines, they are all toxic, or they all have adverse reactions, but that doesn't mean that people are not given any treatment. Most of the isoniazid acid, rifampicin, all are having very bad effects on the, but that doesn't mean that the patients are not given rifampicin, INH. They are given. But what the patients have to do, they have to do a function test. So this is the example of a risk management plan. Now we are all familiar with risk management plan of rifampicin and isoniazid. But when a new drug like this ribociclib is submitted to a health authority, they don't know what are the risk management plans they have to go through. This management plan also has to be submitted to the health authority. So RP is a document that describes the current knowledge about the safety and efficacy of a medicinal product. It provides information on plans for studies and other activities to gain more knowledge about the safety and efficacy of the medicine. So after submitting the RMP, you cannot sit back and relax. You have submitted RMP. There are other studies. You have to also see how effective the RMP is. So other studies require RMP also. Also, describes, as I told you, what measures are undertaken to minimize the risk associated with the use of products in patients. And marketing authorization orders are required to have an RMP any new medicinal product for human use, which is submitted at the time of marketing application for marketing authorization. So these are the documents which are required for pharmacovigilance. Yeah, this is before that. I had another slide on. Yeah, it doesn't mean that though I only the EU pharmacovigilance website. I had the slide also, but it is not showing. There is some problem. No problem. If you keep on your browser, you will go to the site of Indian pharmacovigilance website. That is also very nice website. Pharmacovigilance. They are also very good work on pharmacovigilance. So you can visit the site of Indian pharmacovigilance also, which is called PVPI. These are some of the. This is the Uppsala Monitoring Center website, which is giving many online courses on pharmacovigilance. You can do these online courses to equip for pharmacovigilance. There are many free e-learning courses available. Uppsala Monitoring Center website. This is the EMA pharmacovigilance. Yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. This is the pharmacovigilance program of India. It is called PVPI. which is also a very good website for the students to visit to see what are the activities of Indian pharmacovigilance. This is about clinical trials, but I am not going to go into details of clinical trials because this was not something which I was doing in my practice. We were evaluating documents, but that was not one of the main things that was document submitted by the marketing authorization holder to the regulatory agencies. Some terminologies which I want to make you familiarize, which I also want to introduce. One is IH, which is called International Conference on Harmonization of Technical Requirements for Registration of Pharmaceuticals for Human Use. ICH is not an organization which is related to health authority, but ICH is an independent organization, but most of the health authorities, they depend on ICH guidelines. And there are ICH is by some countries depend on the ICH. There are ICH countries. If after this presentation, the students can ICH and then ICH countries to see which are the countries. The US FDA, the EMA, Japan, and some other countries also are the countries which are depending on ICH. And this ICH also bring about many guidance documents. They bring about documents for bioequivalence. They bring about documents for pharmacovigilance. They bring about documents for registration. So all guidance documents are brought by the which you will pharmacovigilance, which is called COMS, as it is a council for international organizations of medical sciences, which plays an important role within the contemporary pharmacovigilance practice. Another terminology is MEDA, which is the Medical Dictionary for Regulatory Activities. It is the terminology they use for usually for adverse event information. We need to have terminologies because the patients, when they report an adverse reaction, sometimes they may not know. They may say itching, or they might say, they don't feel good or whatever. And so there are standard terminologies which is standardized throughout the globe. So this organization, which is called the MEDRA, they standardized the terminology, which is called MEDRA, for use for vaccines, medical devices, or medicines for adverse events, and even for they use for diagnosis. Most of the time they use ICD, which is the International Classification of Diseases. ICSR, that is the terminology for individual case study report, which is nothing but the adverse report, but they give this terminology as this is all for for international case report, that is the ICSR. Then DigiFlow. You might be familiar with this term also. DigiFlow. This is a ICSR case management system by the Uppsala Monitoring Center. Feature which is available. No. monitoring center for maintained by the Uppsala Center, which is the WHO center, which is based in Sweden for receiving reports, and they which is in Uppsala, which is called the DigiBase, for which all the authorization holders they for other studies. So these are some of the terminologies which people should be familiar with. Show you where I was working. That is not our website, the previous agency's website, which is the Director General of if you go to this website and then go to files, documents which are available there. This is just to give you an idea of some of the websites in this for the studies. The websites are really good for information. One is the European website, the FDA, which is the US Health Authority website, then education and training. Even EMA also has got good online studies, even US FDA also, UMC website, then UK agency, UK Health Authority of Singapore, very good. So the one is PGA, then Health Canada, PVPI India, moi.gov.om is the Oman's health authority. Then there is by the it is the Emirates Health Authority. So these are some of the websites when those who are interested can visit to see what are the latest developments in the regulatory field. I want to close the session with two quotes which I came across when I was preparing this presentation. One is a challenge, an opportunity to face it, to demonstrate and develop our will and determination. Why I'm showing this quote is because when I was working, I used to meet many pharmacists, most of them our Indian pharmacists who are graduated from here, and most of them were Malayalis who are graduated from different parts. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? It went mute for a while.
No, Mari, it is okay. We can hear you.
Yeah, okay. So there are many documents to be submitted. It is very difficult. It's very difficult to get our drugs registered.
We can hear you. Yes, madam. Okay.
So I used to tell them. That time I was not familiar with this quote, but I used to tell them, even without the quote.
Madam, your phone is
everything
muted.
is.
Unmute your phone, madam, please.
No, it is not mute.
Unmute your.
No, it is
Audio.
not mute.
We can hear him,
Okay,
madam.
now it's no.
Oh.
Still it is muted.
That time I was not familiar.
No
Ma'am,
problem.
you can continue.
കേൾക്കുന്നില്ലേ?
Yes, we can hear.
Clear, clear. It is clear. No problem.
Yeah. So I used to say, everything or every is an update performance. Many documents more more all these documents. More documents.
Hello.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Now it is, yeah, here we can hear you.
Rajesh, I can't hear you, Rajesh.
ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് എല്ലാവരും കേൾക്കാം. I can hear everyone.
കേൾക്കുന്നില്ല.
കേൾക്കാം.
കേൾക്കാം.
Okay, okay. So, each challenge, take each challenge as an opportunity. This is another quote by Steve Jobs. He also said, innovation is the ability to change, see change as an opportunity. So, all these changes is bringing opportunity for our budding pharmacists. So let's take all the challenges as opportunities.
Thank you, madam. So we have come to the end of the presentation. A very informative session. Now the session is open for discussion. So if anyone want to raise a question, kindly put a reaction through the menu and we will let you ask questions to ma'am. Please.
Hello, may I ask one question, madam? Hello.
Yes, please continue.
Okay, I am Dr. Rose from the Department of Physiology. Please clarify my question. That is, you told about the branded and the generic version of the drugs. Okay. So naturally, the branded version will be so expensive because of all those procedures of developing and so on, isn't it? So after actually, so they have put on so much effort and money. No. So when the generic drugs come, how these branded versions, all these efforts and money expenditure can be justified? How will they benefit from later from those generic ones? That is what I want to. Or all on a sudden will they lose all their benefits regarding economically?
No, there will be still people who are, who will buy only everything will be available on the market.
Okay.
You have the option. You have the option whether to go for.
Generic will be opted by most of the persons. No. So just I want to know that is there any I want to hear about the term patency or something there.
Yeah, only after the
Sorry.
patent period is over, the generic companies can start manufacturing the generic drugs, generic version, not generic drugs, generic version.
So how much will be that usually? Is there any standard patency period?
Patency period also depends on, sometimes there is they waive the period also depending on the the requirement of the drug in a country.
Okay. So is there any system of paying something for this branded companies by the generic ones? Is there any system like that?
No,
they
I
have
don't
to
think
pay
so.
something? No.
No. Once the patency is over, the generic companies can start. Can start manufacturing.
Can start.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me clarify something else to you. See, when Novartis India makes this same name Kisqali, that doesn't mean that it is brand. For outside India, it is not brand. The innovator brand is the facility which made the first drug which came into the market, maybe in US or Italy or wherever. So that is the innovator. So this bioequivalence center, when they are doing the study, they have to use the reference that is called reference standard drug, RSD. They have to use that source from the reference country itself. They cannot use the product which is made by Novartis in India.
Yes. So that will be, the credit will be always going to the brand one. Inventors. Okay, that's the justice. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, madam. I want to add one more sentence. That's not one sentence. You have explained the natural history of a drug, how it evolves and it has to go through so much steps, and finally all those pharma development and some vigilance going on, periodic and everything. It was very simply, you described so simply that actually I had no touch with pharmacology so far, because purely rolling around the physiology. But it was so nice to brush up all our memories, and I have become up to date just by half an hour. That is I'm so thankful to you. And also Alex, it is from his status I got this information, and I was very lucky. I just knew about this just 1 hour before by just seeing through the status of Alex. Thank you so much for the organizers. And also I was very impressed by your starting with that old paper. And that was a very good information to the students also. I think students are also hearing this, or maybe available for them through YouTube, isn't it? I think you should ask your students, they should see this. Thank you so much to the organizers and Madam Shirly, Madam.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Shirly,
now
madam.
the session is again open. Yes, ma'am. Haripriya, ma'am, please.
It was wonderful listening to you after a very long time. You remain as brilliant as ever. And with this COVID vaccine in the pipeline, even a common man is now aware of the regulatory affairs that is going through. But even as academicians, we see these revised topics on regulatory affairs increasing in the syllabus day by day. So even we are fortunate enough to understand the humongous efforts that is going behind the introduction of every drug into the market and all that. And we would look forward to hearing more from you. As you are here, we look forward to hearing more from you in real person than virtual. It will benefit both academicians as well as students, as well as our profession as a whole. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Haripriya. Very happy to see you also.
Me too.
Just wanted to know if this regulatory affairs aspect is there in our syllabus or not, because I am not because I'm out of touch with what's happening in India now. It is there.
The syllabus get revised every 5, 6 years, and every time they are increasing the bulk of regulatory affairs topic. Definitely. This time, actually, they have a subject to study on that, I believe.
Okay, very
during
good.
Their,
very good. Yeah, it is providing opportunity for pharmacists both in the government and in the private. Private, they are making. Government, they are evaluating. When there are so many, in EMA and all, they have so many people to evaluate all these documents, but not all the health authorities are having many people to evaluate all these documents, because having a post is they have to pay from their pockets. So regulatory authorities all are not keeping people to evaluate all the documents, but but from the manufacturers, they want all the documents.
Yes.
Only when there is a problem, we go back.
And are there cases of getting rejected, ma'am, after going through all these efforts?
Yeah, many. Most of them get rejected.
Okay.
Most of them get rejected.
So
yeah,
millions of money lost.
It is a very expensive affair. Which we didn't know. See, if I read that now in a textbook, I will not know what it is.
Yes, true. Only hands-on experience will.
Yeah, because I saw it there, so I thought let me share it with people.
True.
So that people know that these are all opportunities for people.
Yes.
But then with our background knowledge, we'll be able to manage it, because many who are working there, and most of them are Malayalis, they are all doing very wonderful job.
This field is still untapped by the students. I think.
Yeah. No, but that's why I said, see, all the students, be optimistic.
Yes.
They are all going to have good future. That's why I tell all these students, there are many documents coming. Why they are making documents is it's all for patient safety and for assuring quality.
Yes.
See, only if people report, the companies also get scared. Yeah, people are reporting. Otherwise all these leaking bottles, all this will go to the patients. So if that is reported, companies also are scared.
Yes. Thank you.
Madam, I'm Rajashree. You remember me?
Yeah, very well.
Yeah, you asked a question whether this pharmacovigilance and this regulatory science is included in our syllabus. Now, from 2017 onwards, we have revised our syllabus. Entire India is following one syllabus, which is being introduced by Pharmacy Council of India. And in the 8th semester, we have 2 subjects which are compulsory and 2 which are electives. And this regulatory science is included as an elective. Regulatory science as well as pharmacovigilance is included as an elective. And students can choose this regulatory science or this pharmacovigilance if they want. And they have introduced this. And then we have a project work also in the final year. That is the system now being followed, and it is followed in all PCI approved institutions. In all, entire India is having the same syllabus, not like the previous syllabus. Now it is being introduced, and the final semester in our university, final semester is next 2017, and next in 2021 they will go to final semester.
Okay, very good. Because I was looking whether, what are the masters available, and I saw that in Manipal they have regulatory. Then I saw CTD all in that, in their syllabus also. Then I was wondering, oh God, will they know what is CTD? Because, when a person without any background information read it, they may not know what it is, because it took, when CTD was introduced in Oman, we were given many classes to evaluate the CTD. Initially, when we were given all those classes, nobody was able to follow what this is, and I used to think in my mind, oh God, I want to leave this place before CTD comes into effect, because I'm not able to, see all this, because I'm not able to get used to all this. But then these computer programs are made so perfect that anybody can use it. But they try to give class, we will not follow. But once you do work hands-on on it, you can do it. It is not difficult. And it is all in modules, so that you can go to that particular module to see what you want. It's a big, huge document.
Okay, madam. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you. It was very nice to see you. Thank you.
Shirley ma'am, can I ask you something? Okay, the students find these topics of regulatory affairs very boring. So what are the tips that we can convey to them to make them study those topics? They give the last preference to those topics. Actually, I find that it is very important as you pass out the course from our institution. So how to make them study this? How to make it more interesting?
I feel, if you can make, first is tell them about job opportunities. When they are familiar, when there is a need, then they will learn it. So if they feel that, the job they are going to get is in the regulatory field, then they will learn it. And also, you can give some case studies or call somebody from the regulatory. But India, I don't know, because India is too big a country to I don't think Kerala drug control department may be doing any of these regulatory aspects, because it will be the Indian drug control department who will be assessing all these documents. But I don't know how to make it. First is maybe need-based, and also making some case studies to give them live demonstrations from these websites, which are regulatory websites like EMA, FDA. Our Indian website is also very good, actually. Websites is one. Make it more interactive with the websites.
Okay, ma'am. Actually, we are having these topics in the 7th semester. The guidelines.
I can help you. I can help you if you need.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I think the 7th semester students have some questions.
Okay.
Rosela, please.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
I'm from 7th semester.
Okay.
Ma'am, സാധാരണ ഒരു വാക്സിൻ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഡ്രഗ് മാർക്കറ്റിൽ ഇൻട്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ കുറെ ഇറ്റ് ടേക്സ് എ ലോട്ട്സ് ഓഫ് ഇയേഴ്സ് ടു കം ഇൻ ടു ദ മാർക്കറ്റ്. പക്ഷെ ഇപ്പൊ ഒരു പാൻഡമിക്കിന്റെ ഒക്കെ സമയത്ത് എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഒരു ഫ്യൂ ടൈം കൊണ്ട് ഇൻട്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് മാർക്കറ്റിലേക്ക് വാക്സിൻസ് ഒക്കെ ഇൻട്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്? എവിടെയാണ് ഇത് ഫാസ്റ്റ് ആക്കുന്നത്?
അതാ പറഞ്ഞത്. ഇപ്പൊ ഒരാൾ എന്നോട് ചോദിച്ചില്ലേ പേറ്റന്റ് എപ്പോഴാ കഴിയുന്നേ, അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ ചോദിച്ചില്ലേ. എല്ലാത്തിനും എക്സെംഷൻസ് ഉണ്ട്. ഫോർ എ ഡ്രഗ്, ഇപ്പം ഞാനിപ്പോ ഒമാന്റെ റൂള് പറയാം. ഒരു മെഡിസിൻ അവിടെ രജിസ്റ്റർ ചെയ്യണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ 3 കൊല്ലം കൺട്രി ഓഫ് ഒറിജിൻ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് ഉണ്ടാക്കിയ രാജ്യത്ത് അവിടെ അവൈലബിൾ ആണെങ്കിൽ മാത്രമേ അവിടുന്ന് കൊണ്ടുപോയി വേറൊരു രാജ്യത്ത് അത് രജിസ്റ്റർ ചെയ്യാനൊക്കത്തുള്ളൂ. പക്ഷേ ഈ റൂള് വേവ് ചെയ്യും. എപ്പോഴാണെന്നറിയാവോ? ആ മരുന്ന് ആ രാജ്യത്ത് ഒത്തിരി വേണ്ടിയ സമയത്ത് അവർ പറയും ശരി 3 കൊല്ലമൊന്നും വേണ്ട, 1 കൊല്ലം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 3 മാസം. എല്ലാ കമ്പനിക്കാർക്കും എത്രയും വേഗം ആ രാജ്യത്ത് വരണം എന്നാണ് ആഗ്രഹം. പക്ഷേ ഈ ഹെൽത്ത് അതോറിറ്റി എന്തിനാ പറഞ്ഞത് 3 കൊല്ലം കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടേ വരാവൂ എന്ന്? അവർക്കറിയണം ഈ രാജ്യത്ത് എന്തൊക്കെ കുഴപ്പങ്ങളാ. എല്ലാവർക്കും പുതിയ ഒരു സാധനത്തിനെ പറ്റിയിട്ട് പേടിയാ. അപ്പൊ എന്തൊക്കെ കുഴപ്പങ്ങൾ ആ കൺട്രി ഓഫ് ഒറിജിനിൽ വന്നേന്ന് അറിഞ്ഞിട്ട് വേണം മറ്റവരത് ഉപയോഗിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട്. ദേ ആർ മേക്കിംഗ് ദെംസെൽസ് സേഫ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ ഇതെല്ലാം ഒത്തിരി നാളെടുത്ത് വെളിയിൽ വരേണ്ടതായിരുന്നു. പക്ഷേ പാൻഡമിക് സിറ്റുവേഷനിലത്തെ ആവശ്യം എന്തുവാ? എത്രയും വേഗം മനുഷ്യർക്ക് അത് കിട്ടണം, എന്നിട്ട് മനുഷ്യരെല്ലാം സേഫ് ആകണം എന്നുള്ളതാണ് പാൻഡമിക് സിറ്റുവേഷനിലത്തെ ആവശ്യം. അപ്പം ചില എന്നാ പറയുന്നത് ടൈം പീരീഡ് എല്ലാം അവർ എക്സ്റ്റെൻഡ് ചെയ്ത് കൊടുത്തേക്കുക. മേ ബി എന്നാ പറയുന്നത് ട്രയലിന് ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന വോളണ്ടിയേഴ്സിന്റെ നമ്പർ കുറയ്ക്കാനൊക്കും, ട്രയലിന്റെ പീരീഡ് കുറയ്ക്കാനൊക്കും, അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ. അതല്ലേ നമ്മൾ ആദ്യമേ കേട്ടത്, കഴിഞ്ഞ കൊല്ലം എന്തുവാ ഇൻഡിപെൻഡൻസ് ഡേ ആകുന്നുണ്ടെ കിട്ടും എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞായിരുന്നു, പക്ഷേ വന്നില്ല. പിന്നെ പറഞ്ഞു നവംബറിൽ വരും എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു, വന്നില്ല. ഇനിയും പറഞ്ഞു എൻഡ് ഓഫ് ദി ഇയർ വരും എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു, വന്നില്ല. ഇപ്പൊ പറയുന്നത് അടുത്ത കൊല്ലം വരും എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ. അപ്പൊ ചില കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ വേവ് ചെയ്ത് കൊടുത്ത് അവര് അതെല്ലാം എന്നാ പറയുന്നത് വേഗമാക്കും. അങ്ങനെയാണ് അത് അവൈലബിൾ ആക്കുന്നത്. എന്നും പറഞ്ഞ് ഒരു ടെസ്റ്റും ഇല്ലാതാക്കത്തില്ല, എല്ലാ ടെസ്റ്റും ചെയ്യും, പക്ഷേ അതൊന്ന് ഹേസൻ ചെയ്യുന്നേ ഉള്ളൂ. പിന്നെ there is something called, ഒരു ടേം കൂടെ ഞാൻ പറയാം, there is something called പ്രീ ക്വാളിഫിക്കേഷൻ. അത് കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോ? റെഗുലേറ്ററി പഠിപ്പിക്കുന്നവർ കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോ? സംതിങ് കോൾഡ് പ്രീ ക്വാളിഫിക്കേഷൻ.
Yes, ma'am. Qualification, that's a word which is familiar. Pre-qualification, I think not that familiar.
Yeah, pre-qualification is something to make things happen faster. എന്ന് വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഇപ്പം വാക്സിൻസ്, ഇപ്പം ഒമാൻ പോലത്തെ ഒരു രാജ്യമൊന്നും may take so many years for them to make a vaccine. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പം എല്ലാ രാജ്യങ്ങൾക്കും ഇപ്പൊ എല്ലാ ടെസ്റ്റ്, ഇപ്പൊ ഇന്ത്യ ആണേലും എല്ലാ ടെസ്റ്റും കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ചിലപ്പം എക്സ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ ഒക്കത്തില്ല. അപ്പം ഈ WHO എന്നാ ചെയ്യും എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ചില കമ്പനികളെ ഒക്കെ അങ്ങ് പ്രീ ക്വാളിഫൈ ചെയ്യും. ഈ കമ്പനി അതെങ്ങനെയാ പ്രീ ക്വാളിഫൈ ചെയ്യുന്നതെന്ന് വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അവരുടെ ട്രാക്ക് റെക്കോർഡ് വെച്ചിട്ടാണ് പ്രീ ക്വാളിഫൈ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. എന്ന് വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അവരുടെ കമ്പനി ഇത്രയും നാളായിട്ടും വലിയ പ്രോബ്ലംസ് ഒന്നും ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിട്ടില്ല, കൗണ്ടർ ഫീറ്റ് കൊടുത്തിട്ടില്ല, വേറെ രാജ്യങ്ങളിൽ നിന്നൊന്നും മോശമായിട്ടുള്ള റിപ്പോർട്ട്സ് ഒന്നും വന്നിട്ടില്ല എന്ന് അവര് അസേർട്ടൻ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഓരോരോ, എനിക്കിപ്പം കമ്പനിയുടെ ഇപ്പം പൂനെയിലത്തെ സീറം ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ട്, ഇപ്പം നിങ്ങൾ WHO സൈറ്റിൽ പോയിട്ട് നോക്കിയിട്ടുണ്ട് പ്രീ ക്വാളിഫിക്കേഷൻ കിട്ടിയ ഏതൊക്കെ കമ്പനീസ് ആണെന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ ഒക്കും. അപ്പം ചില കമ്പനീസിനെ എല്ലാം പ്രീ ക്വാളിഫൈ ചെയ്തേക്കും. അപ്പൊ ഈ നല്ല ട്രാക്ക് റെക്കോർഡാണ് ഈ കമ്പനിക്കെന്ന്. അപ്പം എന്നാ എടുക്കും, ഈ കമ്പനിക്ക് വാക്സിൻ കൊടുക്കാനൊക്കും. ഇപ്പൊ എല്ലാ റൂളും ചെയ്തിട്ട് ഇപ്പം മറ്റു രാജ്യങ്ങളിലേക്ക് ഈ വാക്സിൻ പോകാൻ ഒക്കുമായിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ, ആസ് ഐ ടോൾഡ് യു, രജിസ്ട്രേഷന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഏറ്റവും മിനിമം 2 years എടുക്കും. കാര്യം ഈ ഡോക്യുമെന്റ്സ് എല്ലാം ഈ വലിയ ഡോസിയർ മുഴുവൻ ഇവാലുവേറ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ടേ അവർക്ക് സമ്മതിക്കാനൊക്കത്തുള്ളൂ. ഓക്കെ, ബ്രിങ് ഇറ്റ് എന്ന്. അതിനകത്ത് ഒത്തിരി ആസ്പെക്ട്സ് ഉണ്ട്. പ്രൈസിങ്, പിന്നെ അവര് തന്നെ ക്വാളിറ്റി കൺട്രോൾ ചെയ്തു. ഞാൻ ക്വാളിറ്റി കൺട്രോളിനെ പറ്റിയിട്ട് ഒന്നും പറഞ്ഞില്ല, ബിക്കോസ് ഐ വാസ് നോട്ട് ഡയറക്ട്ലി ഇൻവോൾവ് ഇൻ ക്വാളിറ്റി കൺട്രോൾ. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ ക്വാളിറ്റി കൺട്രോളിനെ പറ്റിയിട്ടൊന്നും പറഞ്ഞില്ല. അപ്പം പിന്നെ അതെല്ലാം ടൈം കൺസ്യൂമിങ് പ്രോസസ്സാണ്. അപ്പൊ ഇതെല്ലാം വേവ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ക്വാളിറ്റി കൺട്രോൾ ഒന്നും വേവ് ചെയ്യത്തില്ല. പ്രീ ക്വാളിഫിക്കേഷൻ ഇസ് സംതിങ് വിച്ച് ക്യാൻ മേക്ക് തിങ്സ് ഹാപ്പൻ ഫാസ്റ്റർ.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, based on this track records, can you name some companies which is having a good track record in India?
ഞാൻ ഇവാലുവേഷൻ കമ്മിറ്റിയിലൊന്നും ഇല്ലായിരുന്നു. അതായത് സീറം ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ട് ഒക്കെ ഉണ്ടെന്ന് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു. പക്ഷേ മരുന്നിന്റെ കാര്യത്തിൽ പ്രീ ക്വാളിഫിക്കേഷൻ ഇല്ല. പ്രീ ക്വാളിഫിക്കേഷൻ ഇസ് ഫോർ വാക്സിൻസ്.
Any others?
Madam, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Madam, I'm Renjish, madam. Okay, I have a question regarding bioequivalence. Madam, this question is basically based on my personal experience. Madam, can you say, is it possible to say that two drugs are exactly
Renjish, we can't hear you.
Bioequivalence studies, madam? Oh, no. The reason why I asked, can you hear me, madam?
Yeah.
The reason why I asked is because my daughter, when she was very young, She used to have frequent infections, bacterial infections, and the doctor used to prescribe amoxicillin clavulanic acid 625. And I used to give her this augmentin 625 from Glaxo. But whenever I change, whenever sometimes, if I go and get that augmentin, I used to buy some other brand, and that was not found to be very effective for that infection. But when we give augmentin, it is more effective, and with the second day onwards, our infection subsides. So I always have a doubt whether this is because of any reasons. What could be the reason, Madam, for that?
See, it is just a step to say that these are equivalent. Okay. And in bioequivalent study, actually effect effect is not the basis of bioequivalent study. What is the basis of bioequivalent study is how much rate and extent which is coming to circulation. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് എപ്പോഴും നമ്മൾ ഇപ്പൊ എന്നോട് ആരെങ്കിലും ചോദിക്കുക ഏത് മരുന്ന് കൊടുക്കണം, ലെറ്റ് us not name the companies. ഞാൻ എപ്പോഴും അവരോട് പറയും കുറച്ച് ക്രെഡിബിലിറ്റി ഓഫ് ദ കമ്പനീസ് നോക്കിക്കോ എന്നിട്ട് കൊടുത്തോ എന്ന് പറയും. അപ്പം let's not name the companies because it's not good to name the companies. It's against our this thing to name the companies. Pashela, look at the credibility of the companies when you get the medicines. Bioequivalence is just a step for them to bring the drug to the market.
That problem will be always there with the generics also, no, madam?
Yeah. പക്ഷേ ജനറിക്സും ഉപയോഗിക്കണം. അപ്പം ഇതൊന്ന് പാസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടാണ് അവര് അത് മാർക്കറ്റിൽ കൊണ്ടുവരുന്ന ഒരു സ്റ്റെപ്പ്.
Okay, madam. Thank you, madam. It was very informative, madam, to listen from your personal experience.
Thank you.
Please continue. Madam is waiting. Any others from students? Students from other colleges? I think, ma'am, no one has no more questions, I think. So we will conclude the session. Over to Reni ma'am for a vote of thanks. Reni ma'am. Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, honorable dignitaries, distinguished chief guest, Dr. Shirly John, most respected principal, Dr. Vijayalakshmi Madam, respected professor and head, Dr. D. Kala, esteemed guests from other medical colleges and institutions, and dear students. On behalf of College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, its entire fraternity and the organizing committee, I feel immense pleasure and privilege to take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks to our eminent chief guest, Dr. Shirly John, former consultant pharmacologist, Directorate General of Pharmaceutical Affairs and Drugs Control, Ministry of Health, Oman, who spared time to grace the webinar with her extremely relevant address on thinking beyond traditional boundaries in pharmaceutical education. Madam, you enlightened us with the scope and opportunities of pharmacists in different areas of healthcare system, medical marketing, research, pharmaceutical affairs, contract research organizations, and bioequivalent study centers. Also explained the bioequivalent study, drug registration procedures, clinical study reports, and also the importance of biovigilance study, its documents, and risk management plans. The talk was very relevant and informative in the current scenario and helped us to gain information regarding path-breaking opportunities in the field of pharmacy. We express our heartfelt gratitude on this occasion and looking forward to associate with you more in the future. Thank you. Thank you, Madam. I would specially extend my regards and gratitude to Dr. Vijayalakshmi MT, Principal, Government TD Medical College, Alappuzha, for the perfect logistic support, guidance, and for her graceful presence to inaugurate this function. I also extend my thanks to Dr. D. Kala, Professor and Head, College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Government TD Medical College, for her motivation, support, and guidance in the organization of this event in connection with the National Pharmacy Week Celebration 2020. A deep sense of appreciation and thanks to all participants who chose to be live with us and attended the webinar with great enthusiasm and made it a successful event. My sincere thanks also goes to the organizing committee and to Mr. Ranjish C., Associate Professor, and Mr. Mohammad Habibullah, Associate Professor, College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Government TD Medical College, for all technical support and for helping us to webcast our webinar. Once again, I thank you all for being with us in this morning. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Shirley ma'am, we will be in touch with you for more guidance and a real-time seminar when all this pandemic is over and we are back to our college.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kala,
Thank you,
for
madam.
giving this opportunity. Thank you. Thank you,
Kala madam, a
Rajeshri.
few words.
Madam Shirley Madam. Madam and Kala, it's a very informative session for us also and also our students. And anyway, after when the students will be here, we will again call you, and not the virtual, but only on in person. We can talk and discuss all the matters.
Okay. Thank you. I'll be happy. I'll do that. Whatever I know.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Ranjit sir.
Thank you, madam. I'm sure that you will be very busy, madam. After many colleges will be calling you to talk on this topic.
ശരിക്കും നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പിന്നെ അത് ഇഫക്റ്റീവായിട്ട് തോന്നിയോ? ഞാൻ
മാഡം ഭയങ്കര ഇഫക്റ്റീവ് ആയിട്ട് തോന്നി. കാര്യം കുറെ
ഞങ്ങൾക്ക്
കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ നല്ലോണം മനസ്സിലായി. പിള്ളേർക്ക് എത്രത്തോളം അത് മനസ്സിലാവുമെന്ന് അറിയില്ല. കാരണം നമുക്ക് ഓൾറെഡി കുറെ ബാക്ക്ഗ്രൗണ്ട് ഒക്കെ ഉള്ളതുകൊണ്ട് we can easily
അല്ല ഇത്രയും ഞാൻ ഇത്രയും ഉദ്ദേശിച്ചുള്ളൂ, പിള്ളേർക്ക് മനസ്സിലാകണം അവർക്കൊക്കെ ജോലിക്കുള്ള സാധ്യതകൾ ഉണ്ടെന്ന്. അല്ലേൽ അവര് വിചാരിക്കും ഡിസ്പെൻസിങ്ങും ടീച്ചിങ്ങും പിന്നെ അത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ എന്നാണ് നമ്മുടെ വിചാരം. പക്ഷെ അതല്ല എന്നുള്ളത്, അതല്ല. പക്ഷെ നമ്മുടെ ഒത്തിരി പിള്ളേരെ ഐ എം വെരി ഹാപ്പി. ഇപ്പൊ രഞ്ജിഷെല്ലാം ഇവിടെ ഇരിക്കുന്ന എന്റെ ഓൾഡ് സ്റ്റുഡന്റ് എന്ത് നല്ല ഗവൺമെന്റിലെ അസിസ്റ്റന്റ് പ്രൊഫസറായിട്ടിരിക്കുന്നു. പിന്നെ അങ്ങനെ ഒത്തിരി പേരുണ്ട്, നല്ല പൊസിഷനിലൊക്കെ ഇരിക്കുന്നവരുണ്ട് ഈ പിന്നെ കമ്പനീസിലൊക്കെ ഇരിക്കുന്നവരെ. പിന്നെ ഈ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞില്ലേ എല്ലാം മലയാളികളാണ് അവിടെ. പക്ഷെ നമ്മുടെ ഇവിടെ പഠിച്ചവരും ഉണ്ട്. അവരാരും പക്ഷെ ഡോക്യുമെന്റ്സ് ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നൊന്നുമില്ല. കമ്പനികൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയ ഡോക്യുമെന്റ്സ് ജസ്റ്റ് അപ്ലോഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നേ ഉള്ളൂ. എന്നാൽ പോലും അതൊക്കെ അറിയണം, എന്നാലേ അവർക്ക് അതൊക്കെ ചെയ്യാനൊക്കത്തുള്ളൂ. അപ്പം ഇങ്ങനെ ഡോക്യുമെന്റ്സ് ഒക്കെ കൂടുന്നുണ്ടേ എനിക്ക് സന്തോഷം എന്നാന്ന് വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഇതൊക്കെ പിള്ളേർക്ക് ഓപ്പർച്യൂണിറ്റിയാ. ഇതെല്ലാം ഉണ്ടാക്കണ്ടേ, ആരെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടാക്കിയാലല്ലേ ഇത് വരത്തുള്ളൂ. അപ്പം അതുകൊണ്ട് അല്ലാതെ അവര് വിചാരിക്കരുത് ഡിസ്പെൻസിങ്ങും ടീച്ചിങ്ങും മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ അവരുടെ, അത് കിട്ടിയില്ലേ എല്ലാം തീർന്നു എന്ന് വിചാരിക്കരുത്.
ഞങ്ങളൊരു പൊട്ടക്കിണറ്റിലെ തവള പോലെയാണ് മാഡം. അപ്പം പക്ഷെ മാഡത്തിനെ പോലത്തെ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് പുറത്തുള്ളവരൊക്കെ വന്ന് സംസാരിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഞങ്ങൾക്കും ഗുണമാണ്. പക്ഷെ അതിനെക്കാട്ടും കൂടുതൽ ഏറെ ഗുണം സ്റ്റുഡൻസിനും ചെയ്യും മാഡം.
അതെ, പിള്ളേര് മനസ്സിലാക്കണമെന്നാണ് ഞാൻ ആഗ്രഹിച്ചത്.
ഞങ്ങൾ എപ്പോഴും പിള്ളേരോട് പറയും they should opt for national institutes for their higher education. നൈപൂരിലൊക്കെ പോയി പഠിക്കുമ്പോൾ they have better opportunities there. In Kerala it is limited. No one is aware of many opportunities here, but once they go out of Kerala and once they do post graduation from national institutes, നൈപൂരൊക്കെ ചെയ്യുവാണെങ്കിൽ they have
പോകുന്നുണ്ട്, പിള്ളേര് പോകുന്നുണ്ട്, ഒത്തിരി നല്ലതായിട്ട് പെർഫോം ചെയ്യും.
ഞങ്ങളുടെ കോളേജിൽ ഒരു ആവറേജ് 2 or 3 സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് ഗെറ്റ്സ് പോസ്റ്റ് ഗ്രാജുവേഷൻ ഇൻ നാഷണൽ ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ട്.
വെരി ഗുഡ്, വെരി ഗുഡ്.
once they complete, they are ഇങ്ങനെ CRO-ലൊക്കെ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്ന 2-3 പിള്ളേർക്ക് ഇവിടെ ഉണ്ട്. ഞങ്ങളിപ്പോ കമ്പയർഡ് ടു അതർ ഗവൺമെന്റ് കോളേജസ് ഞങ്ങളൊരു ഇൻഫന്റ് സ്റ്റേജിലാണ്. ഇപ്പം ഒരു 5-6 ബാച്ചേ പുറത്തായിട്ടുള്ളൂ. പക്ഷെ അതിൽ തന്നെ പിള്ളേർ മെച്ചപ്പെട്ട പൊസിഷനിലൊക്കെ ഉണ്ട്.
Okay, very good. You are doing well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you all.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
See you. Bye bye. ഞാൻ ലീവ് ചെയ്തോട്ടെ.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.